Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today I've decided we are going to talk about Legally Blonde. That's right, Legally Blonde. Okay, this movie that you women like so much with the Reese Witherspoon. I've never reviewed a Reese Witherspoon movie before. Uh, but obviously, I had to watch this movie again. I saw it a long time ago. I did not see it when it first came out. No, please, I didn't. But I do remember a lot of girls talking about the movie. I remember that. And I saw the girls I dated would talk about it. The girls I work with, went to school with, they talked about that movie. Back then, we're talking about like 2001. This movie came out a few months, like 2 months before September 11th happened. Yeah. So America was a different place. For those of you who are not old enough to know this, okay, America was a different place before 9/11. It was. Okay. 9/11 changed all of our lives. It definitely changed my life. And I just remember the things that we were concerned about in 2000, 2001, the early part of 2001, were not the same things we were concerned about at the end of 2001. Okay. And it never really went back. Okay. Things like Homeland Security did not exist. Okay. When this movie came out. All right. And I remember the worst. I was in the Marines at the time. I've told if you've watched my Sex and the City videos, yes, I reviewed every episode of Sex and the City. Okay, I know my shit. All right, and I reviewed the movies. It's all on this channel. Okay, I was in the Marines, and I started watching Sex and the City because a lot of the hot girls, okay, the girls I was attracted to, they were all watching Sex and the City, and I thought maybe if I were to watch their show, that I could get some tips on getting laid. Okay. So that's why I did it. And I did not learn anything about getting laid by watching that show. I did learn that women can be some fucking superficial fucking sluts, okay, full of themselves, okay, that they're just as egotistical as men are. I learned that, that they're just as deluded as men are. And I also learned that gay guys don't know anything about how heterosexual men feel about anything. I learned that as well, and women not so much either. Okay, unfortunately. Okay, so I did learn that, but the show was entertaining, so I liked it. I actually loved Sex and the City. I would not have reviewed all those episodes if I didn't like the show. I love the show, especially when it first came out. I was there watching all the episodes. Okay, so I got a good dose of fucking estrogen fucking movies. All right. And since I kind of consider myself a man's man, I like sports. I was in the military for a long time. Okay, I like action movies. I grew up with fucking like Transformers and shit and reading comic books. And then as an adult, all these superheroes that I read as a kid, they turned them into big budget movies. Like, oh my God, like, how come I couldn't get that shit when I was a little kid? I had to wait till I was a fucking grown man before they started making fucking Avengers and Spider-Man and Captain America and all that kind of shit. We didn't have that shit when I was a kid. We had a fucking Christopher Reeve every once in a while. And we got Michael Keaton when I was a teenager as Batman. That's it. So the superhero renaissance, I mean, I was already living that through comic books and cartoons when I was a kid. I consider myself kind of like I tend to like a lot of the things that other men like. Okay, I'm just it has nothing to do with it being forced on me. I just enjoy those things. I enjoy martial arts. I watch martial arts movies. As military, I watch military movies. So that's my personality. Okay, I like that stuff. Okay, so for me I'm going to actively go out of my way to watch. I remember like when I was in my 20s and stuff, I would go out of my way to watch a fucking Van Damme movie, okay, or a Steven Seagal movie. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's my idol growing up. Okay, so anything Sylvester Stallone did, I watched it. The same thing with Schwarzenegger. I actually got to meet Schwarzenegger once. Bruce Willis. I was a fan of Bruce Willis since Moonlighting. Okay, and most of you don't even know that show. Okay, those of you my age know that show. That's where I watched that show religiously, Moonlighting, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, this guy fucking David Addison becomes a fucking diehard cop. Like, what the fuck? Nobody saw that coming. So I kind of consider myself, like a man's man as far as things like that go. So for me to go out of my way to watch a chick flick, it's not something I normally do. But I am heterosexual and I watch a lot of, I've been on a lot of dates, and I have been, I've had to sit through a lot of fucking Meg Ryan and Julia Roberts movies and shit like that, and one thing I noticed about those movies is that a lot of them are just fucking, they just suck. They're crap. And so whenever I hear women talk about how great that fucking Breakfast at Tiffany's was, that part, I'm like, it's about two fucking prostitutes. Who gives a fuck? Okay, these are broken people. Like, what the fuck? It's like, That's your role model? Pretty woman? A fucking whore? A street hooker, no less? Fucking gets a fucking rich fucking billionaire, good looking, no wife, no kids, fucking straight fucking guy to fall in love with. Are you out of your fucking mind? You women eat this shit up like it's fucking really happen. Like it could really happen to you too. No, it won't. It could happen to you, but it's not. Let's face it, it's not. All right? That would be like me watching fucking Spider-Man and thinking that, I'm going to get bitten by a radioactive spider. I'm going to get all these powers, like Tobey Maguire, and my dick's going to get bigger too. And I'm going to go out there and beat the shit out of all these bad guys. No, that's not going to happen either. And I know that. I went to the movie already knowing that. I left the movie knowing that. Okay, I just wanted to be entertained. I just wanted to tell me a good story. Okay? You girls go watch shit like this. You watch these fucking chick flicks, and then you walk out of there going like, oh my God, Jude so hot. Oh God. A guy like him's going to hit on me. I just know it. Get the fuck out of here. And it's getting worse. Now, if you watched my last video, then you know that I was torn between what was I going to review? Was I going to review Legally Blonde, or was I going to review Bridgerton? Well, I decided to do Bridgerton, okay? Because, Legally Blonde. I decided to review Legally Blonde because at least I have some history with this movie, and I know this movie. I've watched it before. It's been a long time. I haven't watched this movie in maybe 15, 20 years, honestly, okay? I watched it a couple years after it came out because I was with a girl, and she wanted me to watch it, so I watched it with her, okay? That was the last time I saw it. That was like in the early 2000s. That must have been like 2003, 2004. Okay, but I watched it again to review it for you, and I gotta admit, it's not as bad as I remembered it. It's still not good. It's still contrived. Okay, this movie has a big ask of you. Okay, it asks you to check your fucking brain in at the door. Okay, so when you watch this movie, okay, you've got to pretend that you're a fucking idiot. Okay, it's kind of like watching the Barbie movie. And I reviewed that movie too, Barbie, the one that came out last year. All right, it's asking you to be a fucking idiot. You got to walk in there being an idiot. Check your brain at the door, because none of this shit's gonna make sense. People don't really act this way. Okay, it's everything is fucking melodramatic. Okay, like a sitcom. Reese Witherspoon's character, Elle Woods. I mean, she acts like she's on a fucking sitcom. Oh my God. Oh. Well, okay, like fucking Friends or some shit like that, all right? When in real life, people don't act that way. They don't talk that way. They don't move that way. Okay, but this movie is asking you to believe that this could happen in real life. Okay, and that everyone's a fucking idiot. Okay, that all men are all fucking idiots. Now, it's not as bad as this today, but there's a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of that about men just being fucking one note. They're not complicated. They're not complex. They don't have any underlying motivations. Okay, they can't think three-dimensionally. What you see is what you get. Okay, and I'm sorry, ladies, but men are most of us are just not like that. We're actually do complex thinking. We actually do plan our lives. Most of us do to some extent. Okay, and most of the things that we do for complicated reasons. Okay, just like you. I'm not saying men are better than women. We're not. We're definitely not. What I'm saying is that we are just as complex as you are. Okay? And these chick flicks tend to not do that. Okay? They tend not to portray us that way. Every guy is a fucking horny idiot, caveman. And although there are some guys like that, okay, most of us are not like that. Okay? And despite the fact that a lot of women like to think that we're all just a bunch of fucking cavemen, we just want to like fuck every girl and hit them over the head with a club and shit like that. We're all a bunch of fucking Neanderthals and never evolved. I know feminists love to say that about us, okay? But if we really were that way, okay, you sure as fuck, ladies, would not have the fucking lives that you had. You sure as fuck wouldn't have your cell phones or your shopping, okay, or your Ubers, okay, or your DoorDash, or your fucking Manolo Blahnik. None of that shit would exist if men really did act that way, okay? So you really need to check your privilege at the door the next time you want to compare men to fucking cavemen. We're all a bunch of worthless fucking slobs. We are not, okay? And one other thing I want to let you know, okay? And most guys, this already, okay? Why is it that fucking, girls can be super fucking hot, but yet their cars look like shit? Okay, like the inside of their car looks like fucking shit, whereas guys, their cars usually look pretty fucking good. Most guys, not all guys, most guys, their cars look like shit. You know, I mean, girls, their cars look like shit. You got fucking, you got fast food wrappers on the floor, cigarette butts, you got all your fucking hair care products and your lotions are scattered all over the fucking floor, you've got books and magazines on the fucking seats, you've got fucking food in between your fucking cushions, you know? You've got fucking empty fucking soda cans, it's fucking disgusting. Why is there so many of you women have that? Okay. But yeah, you like to judge us as being fucking Neanderthals. Get the fuck out of here with that noise. All right. But the point that I'm trying to say is that a lot of these movies, these chick flicks, they don't portray men realistically. And unfortunately, this movie is one of them, okay? Most of them don't portray men realistically, okay? This movie, the big ask of this movie is that fucking women are, emotionally, three-dimensional, but men are not. We're very one-dimensional, What you see is what you get. If a guy looks like this, he's a villain. And that's it. If a guy's like this, he's just lovesick school puppy, and that's it. There's no other depth to him. Okay, you see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this movie, like a lot of chick flicks do, most chick flicks do. That's all you're gonna get. Okay, so guys, don't expect to see men portrayed realistically in this movie, because they're not. They almost never are. Okay, it's just like a Sex and the City. There was maybe 2 or 3 guys, and every fucking episode, including the movies, there's maybe 2 or 3 guys that actually acted like guys on that show. Okay, and that's it. All right. But once again, it was written by gay guys. And speaking of gay guys, this movie, Legally Blonde, 2001, the director of this movie, his name is Robert Luketic. And yes, he is openly gay. I never would have saw that coming. This was his first movie, and it was a smash hit. Okay, obviously, I wouldn't be reviewing it if a lot of women didn't spend a lot of boyfriends and husbands spent their money to take their women to go see this fucking piece of shit movie. Although, I honestly, in its defense, this movie's not as bad as I remember it. It's not as bad as I remember it. Okay, it actually, the first half of the movie, actually for me, kind of flowed pretty fast. Okay, like usually when I'm reviewing these movies, okay, I'm just like, writing my notes, pausing it, writing it down, going to the next scene, pausing it, right, and this one, it just kind of, sometimes it's a chore. Okay, it's just like, oh God, man, another 20 minutes of this shit for today, like Best Friend's Wedding. I remember feeling that way. I remember feeling that way when I did Barbie. Okay, I remember feeling that way when I reviewed, what was that fucking abortion? Breakfast at Tiffany's. I remember feeling like, oh God, I promised I'd watch another 30 minutes today, and it feels like I've been sitting here 4 hours just to review 30 minutes of this movie. That's how I felt. This movie, not so much. It kind of flowed pretty well. Okay, a lot of money was spent in this movie, so props to the production company that made this movie, because they did spend a lot of money. You can see it on the screen. There's a lot of money was spent on shots that only lasted a couple of seconds. Okay, like there's a scene where Elle is taking her LSAT test, and it's a big school auditorium full of students. There's a professor walking around making sure nobody's cheating, that kind of thing. Okay, that's a lot of extras in that scene. Okay, and I can only imagine how much that scene cost. When you got to hire the crew, you got to have food for everybody. You got to hire the fucking you got to hire the people that are there. The lighting, the camera, how long does it take to shoot that scene, the wardrobe, all that money just for a scene that lasts like fucking 5 seconds and nobody talks. I mean, that should tell you something. And there's a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of fucking scenes. Like, there's a fancy scene and they're going to a nice restaurant, and that scene is probably like 2 or 3 minutes long. Okay. This movie's 2 hours, okay? But I can only imagine how much money it costs just to film that scene with the wardrobe, the extras, the lighting and everything, for 3 minutes, for 2 minutes of the movie. So a lot of money was well spent in this, okay? They spent a lot of money in this, okay? So props to that. The movie looks good, okay? It looks very good. I think that the pacing's very fast, which I actually enjoy that, because it lets me get to the fucking end of the movie faster. When my mind is being occupied by what's going on the screen and I'm not getting bored, okay, I tend to review faster. The movie goes by faster. Next thing you know, I'm halfway done with the movie already. I'm like, oh shit, that felt pretty quickly. It wasn't quick, but it felt quick. So props to that. Okay, not everything's bad in this movie. I just think the message in there is pretty stupid, and I'll get to that when I review the whole thing for you here. I'm just giving you my intro right now, okay? I think Reese Witherspoon's pretty talented. I did read a little bit about this movie, and apparently she was in a movie called Election. I did not see that movie. I'm not a fucking gay guy, okay? I don't fucking follow Reese Witherspoon movies, all right? I did see Cruel Intentions, though. I did like that movie, okay? And I saw that one, Fear, that she was in. It was a teeny bopper movie, with her and Mark Wahlberg, look that one up, okay? Where he's the psycho boyfriend and shit, and I saw that one. Okay, but she was a nobody back then. All right, but she is very talented as far as this goes. Her career at the time, she was used to playing what they call shrews. Okay, she's used to playing bitches. Okay, apparently that was her thing. Whenever they need a young girl to play a bitch, you hired Reese Witherspoon. Okay, so for this movie, the director, the gay guy I told you about, what's his name, Robert Luckadick, he envisioned Reese Witherspoon to play this role. He saw her as the character, okay? And so he had a lobby to get her. The studio didn't want her, okay? But he had a lobby to get her. So she auditioned for them, okay? And she auditioned for them acting basically like a Barbie doll. So she actually had to act to win this role. Okay, so she came in there acting like a Barbie doll, okay, with a high voice, the pink outfit, the ditzy blonde. Now, I said this in my last video, ditzy blondes, if you want to pull off the ditzy blonde, you got to be fucking hot. Okay, you got to be hot. You got to be like Heather. Look at Heather Thomas from like the fucking 80s, okay? That bitch was hot. She's still hot, even though she's in her, 60s now, okay? That woman was hot, okay? Look at Morgan Fairchild from like the 70s, early 80s. That was my first crush. Like, it's Morgan Fairchild. I mean, I didn't even like girls yet. I was a fucking probably 5 years old when I first saw her, and I fell in love like that. Morgan Fairchild, look her up. Those of you who don't know who that is, all right? I mean, if you want to play the ditzy blonde, you got to be hot. You got to be hot, okay? And Reese Witherspoon, although she's not an ugly girl at all, she ain't the best looking girl. Like, let's be honest here. She's not the best looking girl, okay? She's average. I would give her in this movie, I'll give her a 6. Okay, I'll give her a 6 because she's got some nice tits. Okay, I'll give her a 6. Okay, but that's it. I'm not going to rank her above that because I'm not that attracted to her. I said in the last video, okay? If I was at a bar and I'm getting shot down by all the fucking 9s and 10s and 8s, then I'll take Reese Witherspoon home. I will, okay? But I'm going to shoot higher, okay, than her, okay? I'm not saying I wouldn't have sex with her, I would, okay? But only if I couldn't get better, okay? See what I mean? So, Reese Witherspoon is the average girl. Most women, I know this is going to hurt your ego, ladies, but most of you are average looking. You are, okay? Just because you fuck a guy who's a 10, okay, your ego gets all fucking inflated and you think that's what you date from now on. No, okay, no. His girlfriend stood him up. He was bored that night. It was and he sure as fuck didn't brag to his friends about you. That's fucking for sure. All right. No, but you girls tend to think that your ego gets out of fucking control. Okay. Let me tell you something. When an average guy gets to fuck a 10, man, the whole world knows about it. All right. Because that never happens. Right? That almost never happens. All right. That's the difference. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, Reese Witherspoon to me is not that attractive. She's okay. I wouldn't kick her out of bed, but she's not that attractive. Okay, but she acts like she is. Okay, so that in a sense is kind of funny. Okay, I think about Kim Cattrall from fucking Sex and the City. Her character, Samantha Jones. Okay, this bitch thought that she was the hottest thing in the whole fucking world. And a lot of the show, the direction of the show, the scripts and all that kind of stuff played up to that. They treated the characters on that show treated her like she was the hottest girl in the world, okay? What the joke is that if a straight guy watches this, Kim Cattrall is fucking average to below average, okay? Kim Cattrall in the first season of Sex and the City was a fucking 6. By the end of Sex and the City, I'm talking about the movie, part 2, Sex and the City 2, the movie, she was a fucking solid 3, okay? Her looks went down, okay? Her looks went down, okay? She was never a 10, okay? I mean, even young Kim Cattrall, I'm talking like fucking Big Trouble in Little China, okay, Police Academy, that Kim Cattrall, that one to me was, I'll probably give her like a 7 or an 8. Okay, and that's young Kim Cattrall, which we never saw young Kim Cattrall in Sex and the City, right? So, but the show treated her like she was a fucking goddess, okay, and she's not. And you women fucking fell into, you treated fucking her like she was a goddess too, okay? Kim Cattrall like she was a goddess. She's not. She had a great personality. She was entertaining as fuck, absolutely. but she was never a goddess, okay? And all that shit, about how all these men fall, these good-looking men fall at her feet, rich, handsome, drop dead gorgeous male model type guys fall at her feet. That's bullshit, okay? That shit belongs on the fucking Sci-Fi Channel, okay, not HBO. But you women believed it anyway, okay? And that's what I'm talking about, delusion. And this movie, Legally Blonde, is full of delusions, okay? It's asking you to believe that this girl could really exist, okay? And these circumstances that she finds herself in could really happen, okay? When realistically they couldn't. Okay, like I said, you gotta check your brain at the door. You gotta check your brain at the door. So that's what I did. That's the only way I could enjoy this movie. Okay. Now the last movie that I reviewed, Mean Girls. Okay, I wanted to be entertained. I was like, okay, let's watch this movie. Okay, it's a stupid whatever, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But in that one, the movie expected me to be an idiot. Now this movie, because of the tone, Legally Blonde tells you right in the very beginning, check your brain at the door. Don't come in here with your fucking intelligence, okay? Because you're not going to enjoy the movie. So at least you warned me. You warned me. Okay, fine. I'm not going to expect everything to make sense here. Okay? And that helped me to enjoy the movie. Whereas Mean Girls did not give you that warning. It just showed you this, were a bunch of fucking mentally retarded fucking girls. High school girls were the most popular girls in school. Oh my God, get the fuck out of here. I'm not buying this at all. Okay, and that ruined the experience for me, okay? Whereas this movie, at least they ask you, or they tell you right ahead, this is bullshit, okay? This character's not realistic, okay? She's a cartoon, okay? She's a cartoon character, okay? And we're asking you to just go with it. Just go with it, okay? No matter what happens in this movie, just go with it, all right? This girl is not aware of how ridiculous she is, okay? So just go with it, okay? She's not aware how stupid she is, but that's the joke here. See, she acts stupid, but she's actually smarter than everyone else in the fucking movie. And that's the joke, you see? That's the feminist angle. It's just because a girl acts like she's a fucking idiot, just because she acts like she's a dumb blonde bimbo does not mean that she really is. Looks can be deceiving, get it? Get it? She's actually a fucking genius. Get it? She's actually smarter than everyone else in this fucking movie. Get it? Okay, that's the message here. That's what they're trying to come across. That's what they're trying to hit you with in this movie. Don't judge a book by its cover, okay? She's automatically fucking assumed to be a fucking dumbass, all right? Although, if you think about it, some of the most successful women in history, they got there because of their looks, okay? And nothing else, okay? You think Marilyn Monroe really fucking was a great actress? No, she was not. She was not, okay? But Marilyn Monroe perfected the dumb blonde, okay? She perfected it, okay? She knew how to fucking raise a dick, okay? She knew how to raise a dick in an era where that was, because of the Hays Code in Hollywood, that wasn't really allowed, okay? She knew how to pull that off, okay? And I don't think Marilyn Monroe is the best looking woman in the world. I've seen her. I think she was a little bit chunky, honestly. She had some fucking, some cushion, she had extra cushion for pushing. And I'd fuck her. I would, but, I don't think she was all that. There's lots of girls better looking than Marilyn Monroe. Okay. But they don't have the same sex symbol status that Marilyn Monroe has. Okay. But Marilyn Monroe knew how to play the ditzy blonde. Okay. She played the fantasy here. What attracts the man is that here's this girl who's so gorgeous, so sexy. Yet she's so fucking stupid that she needs me. She needs me. Not only can I easily talk her into fucking me, but she needs me. She's so vulnerable. Someone's got to protect her. Someone's got to help her. And I'm that guy who can do it. You see what I mean? That's the fantasy. Of course, it's not realistic, all right? Come on, we know. Oh, there are a bunch of fucking good-looking dumbass bitches out there. I know. I've slept with some of them, Hey, I have, all right? But majority of women aren't. They're not that way. Okay? So, and back when Marilyn first came out in the late 40s and 50s, that kind of sexuality wasn't really allowed. Like I said, they cracked down on that stuff in Hollywood. On the screen. Not behind the screen, not at all. But in front of the screen, they cracked down on that. So, so here she was oozing her sexuality, the way she moved her hips. She walked, extra feminine. Her tits were always sticking out. She had that soft voice, that squeaky voice, that innocent look. Really? Which is so feminine. It just turns the guys on. You know, so I wish you bitches out there, you feminist bitches out there, would quit putting women down. Oh my God, these women fucking turn us on. They turn us on. It's a fantasy of ours. Okay, let us have our fucking fantasy. You got yours. You got your fucking, your goddamn fucking Christian Greys out there. You got your fucking Jason Momoas. Why can't we have ours? What the fuck? You want to know why movies are failing? Because there's no fucking hot women anymore. When was the last time you're more likely to go to fucking see a rated R movie where a guy shows off his Johnson than you are a girl showing off her tits? Okay? That's Hollywood right now. What the fuck? I don't want to see no guy's package. I want to see some tits. You know? Like, what the fuck? You got these goddamn Marvel movies, these superhero movies. The guys are always taking off their shirts. When the fuck are we going to see any of the girls in these fucking movies taking off their shit? No, we never do. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. God damn, you got to bring tits back. But anyway, but at least Reese Witherspoon knows how to play up that character. Although, like I said, she doesn't really have the looks for it. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. Okay, she's average looking. She's not really. I don't find her that attractive. Like I said, her chin, that chin of hers looks like a fuck. It looks like a fucking elbow. That's what it looks like. That's the Reese Witherspoon chin right there. That's what it looks like. It looks like a fucking elbow on her face, okay? She has these big fucking cheekbones, and then she's got these two fucking bulbous things growing out of her fucking forehead. I know she can cover it up with her hair sometimes, but sometimes she can't. When she got her hair pulled back, she's got these big fucking orbs. That bitch looks like fucking Hellboy. These big fucking orbs right here on her head, one on this side and one on that side. Okay, and I'm sorry, but that's just not attractive to me. It's not. Okay? I mean, and then, you know, her nose, it's just, you know, if you look at her profile, like her, like, head's, like, it sinks in right here, and then it goes out. It's just weird. And her chin is all the way out there. I mean, she looks kind of like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West in a way. And that's, I mean, to me, I know she can't help it. She's born that way. She can't help it. I'm just saying that some guys might like that. I don't. That's not attractive to me. Okay, I like a woman with more classical features, okay? You know, look like Haley Atwell. Oh my God, that bitch is sexy as hell. Haley Atwell, that girl, that woman can do anything she wants to me. Okay, Reese Witherspoon, not so much. Okay, but because she's not that great looking, for women, she's very relatable. Very relatable. So they can buy into her, okay, like that, okay? And she's ultra feminine. This character, Ellie Woods, is ultra feminine. So kudos to that. At least she acts like a girl because, I mean, this is 2001, but I mean, 2024, man, they're just not doing that, man. How many more fucking movies are we gonna have where this fucking, this hot bitch is fucking beating the shit out of fucking men that are like 6'4" and 300 pounds? I mean, how much more of this shit are we gonna fucking take? How many more fucking Captain Marvels and fucking, you know, and Furiosas, okay, do we have to fucking sit through before we see a woman actually act like a fucking woman? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying that women acting like women are weak. They are not. They are not. They've actually got a shitload of fucking power. You know? Acting feminine doesn't mean acting weak. You know? Yeah, but goddamn, we're just not getting that. We're not getting that anymore. At least here in 2001, we were getting it with Legally Blonde. At least Elle acted like a woman. A hyperbolic woman, definitely. A parody, you could say, of a woman, definitely. But at least she was feminine. I mean, she wears the pink. You know, she's got the fucking martini neon lights in her room. Okay, she's got a fucking toy dog, Paris Hilton style. Okay, she fucking wears Prada. You know, Louis Vuitton. You know, she got a Birkin bag. Okay, I know all this shit because I watched Second City, right? She shops at Barney's. I mean, you know, she's got the heart-shaped fucking shoes. You know, the pink dresses. I mean, she's very feminine. So kudos to that. I like that. I like that. I think most of you women out there, I know I sound like an asshole right now when I'm saying these things, but most of you women out there know that. And I think most of you out there, most of you women out there like looking like women. You like acting like women. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. All right. I'm just talking about the people that are in charge of Hollywood right now. Okay, they're telling you to quit fucking acting like a woman. Act like a fucking man. Okay, because that's the only way that anyone's going to respect you, okay, as a woman, is if you act like a man. throw that shit out the fucking window right now, okay? Don't buy that shit, okay? Just because, these movies are written to give you a false sense of reality, okay? Try that shit in real life and see what happens. Exactly, all right? Okay, so I mentioned the director, gay guy, all right? Robert Luketic, okay? This is his first movie. He also did some other movies you've probably seen. Monster-in-Law, remember that one? With J. Foe and J. Lo, and Jane Fonda, and Jennifer Lopez, okay, and some fucking unknown fucking square jawed, ripped abs, fucking piece of shit guy that whose career amounts to nothing. Yeah, he was, I guess, he was the love interest. Okay, nobody remembers him. Okay, and that came out in 2005. Okay, and then you had this movie called 21. That came out in 2001. That was the movie about those MIT students that fucking went to Vegas. And they mastered accounting cards, and they started ripping off all these casinos, and they got busted for it. And their professor at MIT was the ringleader. Kevin Spacey played the professor. Okay, yeah, he directed that too. Okay, Killers in 2010. That's another fucking rom-com about Katherine Heigl and I think Ashton Kutcher are assassins. It's one of those Mr. and Mrs. Smith type fucking rip-off movies. I didn't fucking see that piece of shit, and I'm not going to. Okay, Paranoia, and that came out in 2013. He directed that too. I have no fucking idea what that's about. I did not fucking watch it. And The Ugly Truth, that's another fucking rom-com. Oh my God. See a pattern here? The Ugly Truth, that came out in 2009. I did see that piece of shit. That's Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler. Oh my God. At least he acted like a man, but I'll never forget the scene where, she puts a vibrator inside her pussy and she's in a fucking restaurant and Gerard Butler has the remote control, so he starts fucking getting her off, when she's at this fucking, this dinner, this work-related, like, corporate dinner, yeah. Yeah, who can forget that? That's the naked truth. The ugly truth, sorry. All right. So I said Reese Witherspoon, of course, okay, is married to, is Ellie Woods in this movie. She was married to Ryan Phillippe at the time, okay, but he cheated on her, all right. Yeah, Luke Wilson, you know him, one of the Wilson brothers, his brother Owen Wilson, Mr. Dick Nose, wow, and I'm still getting cast in rom-coms. Wow. Yeah, Mr. Dick Nose himself. Yeah, that's his brother, Luke Wilson. He had kind of a fall, okay, because, this was a big budget movie, okay, and he plays the romantic lead in this movie, okay, and then the last time I saw Luke Wilson, he was on fucking Stargirl, okay, he played the stepdad in Stargirl, okay, a fucking CW show, right, for teeny boppers, or he played the stepdad, not the dad, the stepdad in Stargirl, okay, so yeah, he's kind of had a little fall from grace. All right, Selma Blair, okay, she plays this character named Vivian Kenningston, okay. Selma Blair, y'all know her. She was in Cruel Intentions also with Reese Witherspoon, okay. She's done a lot of things, but I know she's got some disease. I think she's got MS, actually, because I know she's walking with a cane and stuff. But she was she was up and coming hot girl in the 90s, and then her career kind of fizzled out. And I feel bad for her because I know she's got some sort of crippling disease right now, which limits the acting roles that she can take. Okay, but she was a hot girl back in the day. All right, she was also in what was it, The Sweetest Thing? That was another fucking chick flick with Cameron Diaz and Christina Applegate. She was in that too. Okay, something to do with like cum on a shirt or something. I don't know. It's been a long time since that movie. All right, I'll review it if you want me to, but that's another fucking chick flick I'll have to put in the fucking list. All right, but yeah, Selma Blair. Matthew Davis plays the asshole boyfriend. The one-dimensional rich dickhead fucking Warren Huntington III. That was the love interest, the instigating factor, the impetus, if you will, for Reese Witherspoon's character. He's like the super rich, super asshole-y douchebag. Of course he is. All right, because in all these chick flicks, men are all fucking assholes, or they're cowards, or they're fucking or they're stupid, or a combination of those three. All right. That's every chick flick, even today. Okay, Jennifer Coolidge plays Paulette. Okay, I'm not gonna list off every character because I looked at the cast list. I did not recognize half those names. But Jennifer Coolidge, I remember her. We all know her. That's Stifler's mom from American Pie. She's done a lot of fucking shit. All right, she was on Two Broke Girls. I remember her on that show. She was funny in that one. All right, she does this funny one. She shows up in these fucking rom-coms all the fucking time. Most famous for being Stifler's mom from fucking American Pie. Okay, she plays Paulette, this girl that works at a nail salon. Okay, Ali Lauder is in this movie. Now, she's super fucking hot. I don't know what she's doing now, but she plays some character named Brooke. Ali Lauder, for those of you who do not know who she is, she was in Friday Night Lights. Okay, she was the hot cheerleader that was trying to seduce James Vander Deek, or the fuck his name is. Okay, in that movie. All right, and she was in Heroes. You remember Heroes? That show from the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Heroes is like a superhero show. Yeah, I watched it. I love the first 2 seasons were great. She played one of the main characters on that show. Addie Lauder, gorgeous blonde girl. Oh, sexiest. I don't know what she looks like now. But back then, sexy as fuck. Oh my god, Addie Lauder. Yeah, I remember her, and she played twins too. Like one was evil, one was good. You know, you've all seen the show. You know what I'm talking about. All right, and then Linda Cardellini is in this. She plays some girl named Chutney. I don't know who the fuck. I do know Linda Cardellini. I don't know who Chutney is in this movie. I forgot, but Linda Cardellini. You remember her? She was on Freaks and Geeks, that Canadian fucking show. That's where we got fucking Seth Rogen from. That's where we got Judd Apatow from. That's where we got fucking James Franco from. They all came from that fucking show in Canada, and they all fucking came to America and started making Judd Apatow movies over here. Okay, yeah, she was part of that clique. You've seen her, okay? She's on some show with Christina Applegate now. I don't fucking watch it. This girl else fucking watched it, okay? Made me watch an episode. I don't give a shit. I feel sorry for Christina Applegate. I know she's got some fucking disease right now, okay? But she's on that show with her, and I do know she plays Hawkeye's wife in the Avengers. Okay, I know that. And she was fucking Thelma in the Scooby-Doo movies, okay? Because I got sisters, they were young, they want to watch Scooby-Doo. I watched it with them. I recognized her. Linda Cardellini was Thelma, okay, in the Scooby-Doo movies, all right? So that's her. And then, of course, Victor Garber's in this movie. Those of you who don't know Victor Garber, he's been in a lot of shit, been acting forever. He was in fucking Godspell, back in 1971 or something, where he played Jesus with a fucking red afro and a Superman shirt on and suspenders. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Godspell. He was in that, okay? Well, he's very openly gay right now, okay? He came out of the closet years ago. He was in Titanic. He played the guy that built the Titanic, that designed it, okay? He was also on, I guess he was on Alias. That was some show with Jennifer Garner. I guess he was on. I never watched that show. Okay. He was also recently he was in Just Like Crap. Yeah, the Sex and the City reboot show. Yeah, he plays a character in there. Okay. And he's also on Legends of Tomorrow, which is a superhero show. That's where I watched him. The Flash. You know, he played Firestorm. Dr. Martin Stein, Professor Martin Stein. Okay, he was part of one half of the superhero Firestorm. Okay, so I know that. I'm a comic book nerd. Okay, I know that shit. All right, Victor Garber. Okay, yes, and he is openly gay. Everyone knows he's fucking gay. Okay, he talks about it all the time. All right, yeah. Okay, and this movie, by the way, this was a book published by Amanda Brown. She wrote this book. Could not find a publisher. The only reason this book even became a movie was because she typed it on pink paper, and some exec threw it in the trash. Someone picked it up. It was pink. And read it and liked it, and then the next thing you know, she started getting all these offers. Okay, now she based this on her own experiences going to Stanford. She went to Stanford. She was a girly girl. She read Cosmo and Elle magazine, you know, and she tried to act that way in Stanford, and the other girls made fun of her for that. Okay, they're all about feminists and cutting all the man's dicks off, and she just wanted to be a fucking girl. And so she wrote about that, and that's where we got this from. Okay, the book eventually did get published, but it didn't sell very well. But the movie rights got sold first. Okay, and I guess she made a lot of money off of this. All right, yeah. Amanda Brown. Okay, so that's where the idea for this movie, Legally Blonde, came from. Okay, from her own experiences. All right. Okay, so that's my intro. Okay, for Legally Blonde. The next time you see me, I'll actually start breaking down every scene in this movie, and I'll give you a straight man's point of view. Okay, because that's a point of view you've never gotten. Okay, when you watch this movie. All right. All right. Thank you for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.